As is many different barks, and as I've spent more time with them, I've come to learn that that bark is an emergency bark, or there's actually something there bark. Neither Jen nor I knew it at the time, but two dogs were coming through the woods. These aren't wild animals, these are somebody's uncontrolled dogs. The dog owner's reaction to me getting bit was to end it. Then in the comments, she indicated she'd be willing to take out my dogs. My dogs stay on my property, they don't cross another 80-acre property.
So I've decided that if I'm ever talking about anything like kind of low-level TikTok drama, then I'm going to be dressed down in my Udi. We're just going to be having a little bit of a chat about what I've been seeing over on TikTok. Go and get some coffee, go get some tea, glass of wine, glass of milk, a glass of juice, whatever it is. Grab your dog. I've actually got my dog here. I've actually got my dog here with me right now because this topic is going to be revolving around dogs. Yeah, and this ranch guy, this like homesteader guy called Nate, who I'm going to be talking about today, and what's basically happened with his cat that disappeared, his neighbours' dogs that are literally like on the loose, just terrorizing the homesteaders around the area, and the fact that their neighbours, like the owners of these dogs, do not seem to care whatsoever and literally said, oh, you can shoot our dog, you can shoot the dog if you want.
I told her the dog bit me, she said, do you have a lead device? Give it lead. I don't want to kill stuff, I just want to protect my homestead.
I'm just going to be rambling to you. This is a very laid back video, but you guys probably get the gist, so let's just get on with it. So I came across this guy called Nate, who is something homestead, I would say a few months ago. I really do find the whole like homesteading, the livestock guardian dogs that you see. I also watched another one, they're called like Raven Hill Farm or Raven Top Farm, I don't know. Anyway, I have quite a few of these like homesteaders where they had these like amazing livestock guardian dogs that basically like live out and they look after the livestock. In Nate's case, they're literally looking after some ducks. And I've watched him ever since he got his puppy Az.
This is a livestock guardian dog. His name is Aslan. I'm calling him Az, and he's 6 months old, and he came from Colorado. Took him to the vet a couple days ago, and he weighs a whopping 84 pounds. He's a Turkish Boz Shepherd, and I've got a lot of animal training to do now. I've got to introduce him to all the other animals and make sure everything just goes good.
And I know a lot of people have very differing opinions on it, but from my own personal experience of living somewhere really quite rural where we have sheepdogs who act as livestock guardian dogs, and they do not want to come in. We've actually got a collie on the farm who is not classically trained as a sheepdog, but will not come inside. Like, he lives outside. He doesn't want to come inside. He has access to inside. He just chooses not to. Side dogs, they've got these big, thick coats. I've got a dog over here who is literally wearing an Udi right now. So we're both in our Udis. He's literally wearing an Udi. He can't tolerate being outside. He hasn't got an undercoat. No way. No way, Jose. He hates it. He's literally like bundled up. So my point is, there's quite a lot of people that don't really like it. This is the longest explanation. It's two cats, Dagger and Saber. Justice for Saber, because Saber went missing not even that long ago. Literally just went missing. And we're gonna find the piece of the puzzle in just a minute. I'm gonna get there. I have Minion, who's this little tiny like crossbreed. It looks like a Chihuahua crossed with like, it's like a mongrel, proper like mongrelly dog. Don't know what it is. And he literally has like a little umbrella because he doesn't like the rain, so they attach like this little umbrella to his head. It's the cutest thing you'll ever see.
Loves his umbrella, and a lot of you guys think he needs a helmet mount or a head mount instead of the way he's currently doing it.
The problem arises when Saber, their cat, disappeared.
Last saw him on Sunday out on the back deck with Dagger. Often when he's not here, he's off visiting the neighbors, but they haven't seen him either, and he's been gone for about 5 days or so.
A cat, Saber, just didn't come back, and everyone's wondering, where's Saber? Where's Saber? Where's Saber gone? Well, it only occurred, this was like a week or so ago, that as the livestock guardian dog had this on film.
Jen was hanging out with the ducks and Az when he suddenly got up and left. Az loves hanging around his people and animals, so this was unusual behavior, and Jen went off to investigate. Turns out Az knew something was up. Az has many different barks, and as I've spent more time with them, I've come to learn that that bark is an emergency bark, or there's actually something there bark. Neither Jen nor I knew it at the time, but two dogs were coming through the woods. These aren't wild animals, these are somebody's uncontrolled dogs. Unfortunately, the camera pointing the other direction didn't motion activate. Az is having a standoff with two other dogs headed right for my ducks.
Nate! Good boy, Az. There's two other dogs on your property. You chased them off, but they went up.
Like barking and barking and barking, and these two dogs, I think it was two, managed to get onto the property. Az was like defending and managed to get them to go away. And then ever since then, Az has been like on high alert. So then the suspicions start arising, and it's just like, whose dogs could this be? And now the cat has gone missing, and it's all just starting to make a bit more sense. Now, anyway, what's now happened is that Nate actually worked out who the dogs were, I think by his girlfriend Jen, is that her name? Her description of these dogs. He knew exactly where he was going. He went round to the owner's house, was having like an all right conversation, and then all of a sudden this happened.
After having a decent conversation, I went to leave. One of the dogs bit me in the leg. You have all your dogs? I have a livestock guardian dog that's rounded them off, so it cannot possibly be sick.
He nipped you?
Yep, sure did.
Seriously?
Yep.
Did you see that happen? Are you okay?
I am. It was just a nip. I had the ability to eliminate the dog at any time, and I'm sure a bunch of you are wondering why I didn't. It's because dispatching somebody's dog when you're on their property is a serious escalation. I might sound calm, but I'm enraged, and this isn't over.
Her remedy, like her way of rectifying this whole situation, was to say, oh, you can put some lead in it. As in, you can like pew pew the dog.
The dog owner's reaction to me getting bit was to end it. I told her I didn't want to do that, and that wasn't the point, just to keep her dogs there. Unfortunately, that tells me how little the dog owner cares for the dogs, and even if I have to do that, it's not going to change anything. She can always get more dogs, right?
Some people in the comment section were literally being like, well, yeah, you can't just like turn up to someone's door, but by the looks of it, they were having a nice conversation, and Nate is actually going to like release the conversation footage, because I think he was like, he had the phone in his pocket. I don't know what was going on, but I'm pretty sure he said that he has to release some footage, and they were having a nice conversation, and then the dog literally came and just like bit him on the leg, and people were like, well, yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's just like, what? No. This woman then all of a sudden takes to her TikTok, and she then just like starts posting loads of stuff.
She has taken to social media though to show how friendly her dogs are.
My happy guy.
Of course your dogs are friendly with you, that's not the issue. And then in the comments, she indicated she'd be willing to take out my dogs. My dogs stay on my property, they don't cross another 80-acre property to get to someone else's 100 acres. The dogs haven't been loose just once, it's been multiple times over the last year. Your dogs have personally chased Minion and I on the ATV as we drove on the road. The dog that bit me has also treed the neighbor's cats a couple times, squared up with her in the middle of the yard and barked at her. Instead of calling the authorities immediately, I tried to reason with you by knocking on the door, and you say I act a threat, so I'll have to release that footage too. And then you talked about having something pointed at people just because they pull up.
She instantly then had to literally like publicly disable, so it's private now, you can't go onto her page. But she was saying like all kinds of stuff. She was posting imagery of like, look how friendly my dogs are, like completely missing the fact that they pretty like, it's to be determined, they probably would have unalived Minion, the little dog. They travelled apparently over like 100 acres, have been terrorising other people's like pets on their property. Took a chunk out of Nate's leg. And I mean, justice for Sabre.
This video is for the owner of the dog that bit me. If that's not you, scroll on. You didn't, did you? Anyway, in part 1, I went over the history of your dogs with some other neighbors as well as some cats. Your recent videos responding to me about how friendly your dog is doesn't really mean anything. Of course your dog is friendly to you, it's it being not friendly to my animals and me that's the problem. I'm not interested in winning any wars or any big ego related things, or in ending your dog as you suggested. I'd rather get back to filming homestead stuff, but it's kinda hard when there's a dog that comes over here trying to take it out. I need your dog to stay on your property and not cross other people's properties and then hundreds of yards into my property. You think your dog's friendly because it's nice to you, however it is verified not to be nice to other animals and other people. I've got a nice wound on my leg to demonstrate it. Saying your dog is friendly is different than taking responsibility and then action afterwards to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. How about we de-escalate, keep my homestead animals safe, and I don't have to pursue other legal options available to me. Those brand new no trespassing signs and beware of dogs signs kind of indicate to me that you don't want to resolve it with me one-on-one, and I'm going to have to take other steps. A phone call or two might be able to clear this whole thing up. I'll find a way to get my number to you so you can reach out if you so desire.
And I think my own general consensus of the whole thing, because I don't believe she's posted anything since, but I'm pretty sure Nate is going to come out with like the footage of what actually happened when he got bit by this dog. Also have to be like kennelled for 14 days because they were unvaccinated dogs as well. So obviously you need to keep an eye if they've bitten you. You need to make sure that you're not contaminated with anything. But in this case, this woman does not have a lot. She doesn't have a lot to stand on. I do think as well, like the people that are saying in the comment section, like, oh well, they're protective dogs or the protection dogs, whatever. But the thing is that a well-trained dog doesn't just randomly bite somebody if that person is not being a perceived threat. People just need to bloody just like keep their dogs under control. I've had it before in the fields, right, where I've heard gunshots and a dog has literally been pew-pewed because this Jack Russell thing got into one of the fields and started chasing sheep that were lambing. I heard gunshots and the owners were very... it wasn't anything to do with me, by the way. It wasn't to do with me. But farmers and that act... will act on it, and it all could have been seriously prevented had the owners had just kept the dog on the lead, because there's a bridle path that kind of connects to that field, but it says keep your dog on a lead because there are sheep. It all just goes down to neglectful owners, and that's the same thing in this case. You've just got very neglectful owners that were literally saying like, oh, you can put lead in it. Like, what? Who is saying this? Who says that about their animal? Like, what is going on? And then to then post these videos like, oh, they're really lovely dogs. Well, they're lovely to you, but they're obviously not lovely to other animals and other people. My point being is that this woman's literally just like, his dogs didn't listen hardly on the live video. These dogs are trained and loved and cared for and are good with people. Act a threat and things might be different, which again is him on the property. But the thing is that they're obviously not good of other people. If they are in any way aggressive or will act in that way, why are you just like allowing them just to like run off? The thing is that they have been aggressive. They have been aggressive to like other animals. And yes, he was on the property, but even dogs which are specialized in protection, if someone's come round not perceived as a threat, having a normal conversation, which is what was shown in the clip that he gave, there is absolutely zero reasoning as to why that dog would then bite somebody. That is a badly trained dog. Like, and it's people like this that really wind me up. And the person, did put below, if someone is just being on your property talking to you and that happens, that's not a good thing. And that is also not something I would consider as a dog protecting their property, because they're doing it wrong, because there was no threat. There was no threat there. The dog was just acting aggressive. Like, take this guy, for example. If the fence, if the gate is open, which connects where I live to the farm, if he's out there and we're playing ball, delivery drivers can turn up, anyone can turn up, and he'll literally sniff them and it's fine. The minute that gate is shut, he acts like he doesn't even know our local postman. It'll be barking, all guns blazing, and it's the way that they react. And because I'm aware of that, I make sure that he is out of the way when these people arrive so they can do their job. Do you know what I mean? But if the gate's open, he's lovely as anything. It's just like knowing your dog, and I feel like not enough people do. And then you then end up with situations like this where it's just like, person could have got seriously hurt. Okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. Thank you for coming to my rambly TED talk about livestock guardian dogs and nightmare dog owners. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.